Well, we welcome you back. Immediately, it's a deep shot by Boone Grove. Sal Montez looking for Ryan Smith, and he dropped it. He put that right in the bread basket. Boone Grove was looking for a big play here and just could not connect. And Ryan Smith, he had the jump on Harry Vargas, who we just saw kick a PAT. And if he would have caught that, Isaiah, he would have been home free for an important touchdown. But I want to mention, with 11:53 to go in the fourth quarter, if Lake Station takes a 35-point lead, it'll be a running clock, which I don't think is at all what we expected in this game coming into things. As we'll get back into that in a second here with Montez. Steps up, tries to escape, fumbles the football. Lake Station's got it, I believe. Jaden Nix, I believe, fell on it, and the Eagles have it. Second fumble of the game for Montez, and it goes from bad to worse for the Wolves, who are in danger of dropping under 500 with one game to play.
Wow, and it's really just a matter of how scrappy this Lake Station team has been. You know, Boone Grove, they're doing all they can, but forcing Sal Montes' second fumble of the game, 6th on the year, that's a tough task.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a strong sophomore standing at 6'2", 180, and it's impressive what Lake Station's been able to do tonight.
It's a fake. It's going to be McNeil on the left side. They originally snapped it to Parker. He handed it to Alderson, and he handed it on the end around to McNeil, who picks up a short 3-yard gain. So that running clock situation now fully into our view right now. Lake Station scores a touchdown. They'll go up by 35, and we'll have a running clock until Boone Grove can score and bring it back to under 35. But, I mean, Lake Station is turning this rivalry around for them now. They have just been dominated over since 2016, 9 years. And now they're the ones doing the dominating here as Alderson switches sides to the left. Breaks the tackle. Boone Grove can't bring him down, and they actually don't bring him down. He gets knocked out of bounds.
And it's good
for
to
a gain
see
of 1.
All those blue jerseys surrounding the ball carrier right there. They're still battling with a lot of pride, fighting for their seniors here on senior night. Because at the end of the day, you know, you have the sour taste in your mouth, but keeping in mind the sectional draws on Sunday, you could very well see this team again in 3 weeks. So you want to definitely make sure that your opponent knows that you're not an easy out.
And honestly, you could take what you see in this game and implement it to make adjustments if they do play again in the future. So Parker on 3rd and about 5 will pass, splits off the edge. Parker takes a hit, goes to the end zone, and McNeil, it's incomplete, and Parker took a huge hit, and he's down. Colton Brosh came in there like a missile and hit Parker on his left hip. He's down, and we'll take a break for the injury. As we take a look one more time at that throw to the end zone, McNeil was open. So we'll take a break for the injury to David Parker. We hope he's all right with a 29-0 lead for Lake Station. We welcome you back. David Parker walked off under his own power with an athletic trainer. He will not be in the game here as he is getting looked at on the sideline after taking a huge hit from Colton Brosh on that throw.
Looks like they're going to have Alderson.
Yeah, Alderson's going to be the one lined up here.
Which he started the game behind center too, so very familiar.
Alderson with the run to the left, not able to get much on. That was actually 4th down, and it's going to be a turnover. It's also number 32, Isaiah Ezel, who is lined up, but Alderson is not able to get there, and it'll be 1st down Boone Grove. Besides that punt, it's the first time we've seen Lake Station, at least in this half, not able to score a touchdown on one of their drives.
And Alderson kind of getting up a little slow.
Now that's the last thing you'd want. Up 29 is to start racking up maybe some late game injuries, and you're on your way to go 6-2 and 3-0 in conference play.
Yeah, and it might not just be this specific game. It's just the toll of, You know, you see that a lot at these lower classes. Their ball games, you know, you got a lot of guys playing both ways. And
well, look out here. Montez links up with Ryan Smith. Same play as before, Isaiah, when Smith dropped it.
Lost the shoe.
Yeah, this time he makes a big play and gets into Eagles territory. We've seen the speed from Ryan Smith. He has some serious speed. There's no doubt about it. Look at him on that far side. A little out and then up. Or I should say in and then up.
Yeah, and, you know, honestly, Ryan Smith, with all the speed he had, he ran out of his shoe right there for the Indiana Northwest first down.
Yeah. Well, he played 10 games last season as a freshman, but now he has a ton of more experience. Direct snap to Montez. Montez gets to the 40, picks up 2. They don't have a lot of time, Boone Grove, as we see an Eagle down near the line of scrimmage. Can't quite tell who that is, but he's able to get up under his own power. 2nd down and 8, under 10 to play in the 4th.
Caden McNeil, the 6-foot junior.
Oh, he was the one that was down.
Yes.
Oh, and he's been making some big plays defensively tonight.
Both sides, too.
Yeah, you're right. Montez is probably going to air this one out, and he will as he gets blitzed. Montez tries to escape and does. Montez trying to make something out of nothing, and he has. Montez in a foot race. Wrestled down at the 11. What a play for Montez. We saw David Parker on the other side of the football for the Eagles do something like that. He went for a touchdown. Montez gets in the red zone.
And that was the long run we've been waiting for Montez, you know. He just scrambles, the scrappiness, and just the heart and desire of this Boone Grove Wolves team. We mentioned it on defense and showing a little bit on offense as well.
Well, Montez runs into space. Montez slid down. Is he in?
No,
they mark him at the 1.
With the slide.
If he would have put his shoulder down, Isaiah, he would have been in, but he decided to slide and comes up short at the 1, and the entire crowd thought that was a touchdown. As we see Canyon McCormick check out of the game. Or, excuse me, he'll check into the game, I apologize. He's on that offensive line. And you wonder if Montez, maybe from what he saw for David Parker taking a big hit and having to leave the game, if he just didn't want to take a big hit on that play. So we're going to see number 28, Bradley Agayo. He's going to get the carry, and he is in for the touchdown. So Boone Grove is on the board with 8:28 to go. Aguayo is the captain for this team, the junior captain. That's the 2nd touchdown of the year, and the Wolves are on the board.
And this is honestly where Boone Grove can take advantage. I mean, you can look at this Lake Station team. They're winded, they're sore, they're hurting. All season long, they've been playing both ways, just like Boone Grove has. But at this point, you get a little motivation knowing that this is your senior night, the last opportunity on your home field to make something happen. And I'm sure this Boone Grove Wolves team is going to try to put up a fight with 8 minutes left in this game.
And if they don't have to deal with the running clock, the clock stops and they can preserve some time as much as they can. Fake to Aguayo. Montez takes off to the right on the 2-point conversion, and he's in. So 29-8, 21-point game, 3-possession ball game right here on JEDTV. What a play. Sal Montez sets up the touchdown rush from their captain, Bradley Aguayo, and then Montez rushes in for the 2-point conversion. 29-8. Can Boone Grove make this a ball game in the 4th? We'll find out next. Welcome you back to Boone Grove, Indiana. Isaiah Gransberry, I'm Kyle Mathas. Take a look really quick at this run by Sal Montez. Isaiah, you want to take me through this?
This was the play that really kept this drive alive, just the heart and desire by Montez, and he's showing his fight, getting into the Tech Federal Credit Union red zone, and they end up capping it off, and Montez with the cherry on top with the 2-point conversion.
By the way, that was on a 3rd and long. Also on that play that Montez picked that up. So he's just trying to keep his team in the game, and he also will be out on defense. He's been making a few big plays defensively tonight. Despite the Eagles having 29 points, if Boone Grove can get this football back, who knows what could happen. Squib kick taken at the 40. Easy as you like for the Eagles. Sometimes see teams kind of struggle with those squib kicks, but not Lake Station. So 8:26 to go. With the way that Lake Station has ran the football tonight, does Boone Grove just focus on the blitz, or do they take into account David Parker being able to throw the football, as it's good to see David Parker back on the field after he took a shot at the end of that last drive and had to leave?
Yep, and I'm sure they're going to focus on getting some pressure on the run game, keeping everybody inside of them, and try to get their offense another chance to put some more points up.
Could be a false start here on Lake Station, as that play was also a high snap from the center, and Alvin Wheaton, the freshman. So we see a false start. Those could be the plays that really help out Boone Grove when it's all said and done, if they want to make this comeback. So 1st and 15 from the 35 for the Eagles. And Alvin Wheaton, obviously just a freshman. He is the center for this team. He's played a little bit of quarterback too, has played 5 games, and they'll call a timeout. We'll keep it here on JEDTV. It's actually funny with Alvin Wheaton. He, being a freshman and getting put into the position of being in the center position, that's got to be a lot of pressure, you'd imagine.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure because every possession starts with you. I think that's one of the tougher positions on the field, and they are. To say you have the battle like that, getting a good snap off shotgun, and then also having the block afterwards to protect your quarterback, running back, that's a lot to ask for from a freshman.
Yeah, and then also he's got to snap it to one of the 3 guys on the backfield, which that always makes things probably a little more difficult than just having the quarterback back there. So we will see after the false start penalty on 1st and 15 if the Eagles can get something to go here. They only lead by 21, which is a lot, but also Boone Grove found their rhythm on that last drive. That touchdown drive of about 70 yards. It's a high snap taken by Isaiah Ezel, Jr., able to power forward for 2. I think Lake Station's content with running the clock as much as they possibly can here for the remainder of this 4th quarter. And is there an Eagle down on that play? I think there is. An Eagle down, so we will take a break here with 8:06 to go for the injured Lake Station Eagle. Lake Station up by 21. Well, we welcome you back. The injured player walking off the field under his own power, James Lundy, the junior tackle, able to get off the field under his own weight. But what's happening in that Hobart game, Isaiah? It's getting pretty interesting right now.
Yes, Morton, they're putting up a fight as they score a touchdown and recover an onside kick, and they're down 2 scores. Waiting for an official score, but I want to say it was 26-14.
Wow. Here's McNeil on the direct snap. That was a 2nd and about 12. Make that now about a 3rd and 10 coming up here. Hobart had a big lead in that game, and Morton's starting to come back in that one. Will we see something similar here with Boone Grove after Lake Station had a big lead here?
Right.
Boone Grove on 3rd down and 10. Can they get the football back?
Right. Remembering how that first half went. A couple other Doc scoreboard updates is Lowell big up over Munster right now, 42-7, and then Dran big on Hanover Central, 21-0. Both of those teams play for what will be the Northwest Crossroads Conference Championship next week. and that's going to be a dandy.
Well, Parker goes down for no gain, 4th down, and they'll have to punt for only the 2nd time tonight.
And the interesting part about that, in Dran, I mentioned them so much, is because both of the teams here tonight could potentially be scouting for them in 3 weeks for the sectional first round. So these are the games that they'll be watching, sure.
Well, you got to think Andrean's going to be scouting this game and probably wondering, wow, what happened to this Lake Station team? And they're going to find out pretty quickly what Coach Glenn Goley has done to turn this program around. That was almost blocked. They actually had a chance to block that one. Takes a bounce inside the 40, and they try to use the wind to push it inside the 35. It's picked up at the 35-yard line by the Eagles. Boone Grove now, they're still kind of in this game, but they would need, honestly, a pretty quick drive here if they would want to have a chance. Down by 21. They score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They could make it interesting and bring it down to 13, which would still be 2 possessions. So long way to go for Boone Grove, but getting a stop there on 3rd down was a start. So let's see what the Wolves can do here with Montez. He's done pretty well throwing the football here, and it's, well, I might have jinxed him there. It's picked off by Lake Station. Jaden Nix gets the pick, his first interception of the season, and that just might have been the commentator's curse, unfortunately.
That might have been.
Wow.
And what a great play. Lake Station once again, Boone Grove gets a little bit of hope, and Lake Station shows them why this is one of their best teams in school history.
Well, Jaden Nix is in his first season of varsity experience, the junior. His mantra this season, his words, he said, "I'm going to prove them wrong." And, well, he just got his first interception of the season right there. And a big moment, 5 minutes to play.
So this Lake Station team, obviously, on a good path to move forward. Best season in school history. Fun fact right here, they have never played in Dran in school history, according to John Harrell's website. So that would be a different style for both teams. Something they're both not used to, and Dran obviously with the size and big explosive offense, who hasn't really scored much this year, averaging 27 points a game, with the Lake Station team that can put some points up pretty well, averaging 35 on the year. So that could potentially be a sectional matchup that a lot of people have circled on their schedule.
Yeah, it could be a pretty good game, as McNeil got about 6 right there, tackled by Colton Brosh. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in 3 weeks, even on Sunday when the sectional draw gets released. Flags on the play as Parker keeps. And what's the call here? Illegal shift on the Eagles. So Lake Station's going to back up just a little bit more here, but what a game for this Lake Station team, and especially this defense. Coming into this game, it was kind of a question of how well this defense would play. They gave up 30 points per game this season heading into things. And, we didn't know how good this defense would be playing, but they've held Boone Grove to 8 points. They've got a couple sacks. They've got a couple TFLs, and they have that interception right there on Sal Montez, who's one of the most prolific and dynamic players in the conference.
Yes, and I think this game even shocked Boone Grove.
Yeah.
They were not expecting this, and that came from the start when Sal Montez, when your star player gets stripped like that to start the game, that definitely sets the tone, and Lake Station did a great job taking advantage, but Boone Grove, they're definitely still battling and have to give it to them.
Another flag here. I was about to say, as we see an offsides on Boone Grove, which just gives those yards right back to the Eagles. But, on senior night, nonetheless. And Boone Grove seniors wanted to finish out their campaign, at least at home, with an important win to move their conference record to 2-0. Remember, they started the season 1-3, and now they're on a 2-game win streak, and that win streak is very likely going to end tonight.
They did, and I know that, the miscues are, showing rampantly tonight, but just the way this season has gone, starting 1-3, bouncing back to 3-3, says a lot about the heart of this group.
Parker going deep. Josh Wilkins on the deflection. It's incomplete. He almost had his third interception of the season. What a season Wilkins has had. He also plays 4 different positions in baseball, actually, funnily enough. Third base, second base, shortstop, outfield, but he's actually 153rd in the state of Indiana, top 200, and interceptions with 2 coming into this game. That could have been his third. And he was close to getting that, but Parker trying to go deep. You wonder why at this point. I mean, you're up, you want to run the clock down. If I were Lake Station, which obviously I'm not Coach Goalie, but I would just run the football here. But Coach Goalie has put up pretty good masterpiece in terms of coaching, and he takes the time out here. I don't think he's too thrilled with the way they lined up on that play. So a timeout call with 5:05 to play in the fourth. 29-8, Lake Station on top of Boone Grove. We'll be back after this. All right, welcome back to Boone Grove. 5:05 to play. Appreciate all of you joining us tonight. Kyle Mathas with Isaiah Gransberry here on a pretty nice night for some football here. We're getting into fall weather. It's been a very nice night for Lake Station, who are about to break, or on the cusp of breaking, a 9-game losing streak to Boone Grove dating back to 2016. Trying to get to 6-2, which, like Isaiah mentioned earlier, would be their first 6-win season since '98, which was their last winning season. Here's a direct run for Parker. Quarterback run to the outside. Parker using that speed. He already has a 75-yard touchdown run, and he gets inside the red zone to the 18-yard line with that carry of about 20 yards.
And that's just really how this game has gone. Obviously, some words being shared by both of the players, telling each other that they hope they have a great rest of their evening. But nevertheless, hard fought Lake Station. They've been fighting hard. They've been able to secure their edge really all night long and on the verge of potentially putting another one up on the board.
Yeah, that's honestly been the difference in this game. It feels that the edge, the running backs, and even David Parker, the quarterback, being able to get out on the edge as Parker, this time, ironically enough, as we're talking about the edge, goes up the middle, gets about 3, as that clock continues to run to about 4 minutes. But like we mentioned before, both of these teams with 1 game to play this season remaining at River Forest for the Eagles, and then a game against Hammond Bishop Knoll for Boone Grove. They'll be hoping they can pick up a win in that game to finish their year at a 4-4 record. And Lake Station's hoping to potentially end their season at 7-2 if they can win next week against River Forest.
Yes, and that Lake Station River Forest is a big rivalry, so that's no gimme for Lake Station. Obviously, being able to, or having to go on the road to finish out the season.
And McNeil gets inside the 10, first and goal.
And, of course, we also have to mention that this game puts Lake Station in sole possession of first place in the North Division of the Greater South Shore Conference.
Unreal.
And so, assuming the River Forest game goes well, they will be in a tie for the best overall record in the both North and South Division, tied with Wheeler, who's undefeated, on the verge of winning tonight.
That's going to be a penalty here. I think unsportsmanlike penalty on Lake Station. And I guess tempers are starting to flare. But at this point in the game, you're up by 21. Why would you do anything to move your team back at all? As now it'll be a 1st and 14.
Yep, and great job by this officiating crew, definitely keeping things under control. You never want to see players lose their tempers and whatnot, but you also have to realize players at home, future high school players and everybody else, like if you get kicked out of a game, you're out that game and the next game. So Lake Station, with how many players they depend on both sides of the ball. You would not want to be in a position where you lose a guy like Parker for this week and next week and ultimately put a damper on what's been a great season for you. So always want to keep your head, always want to stay focused, and just keep your mouth shut and keep playing.
Yeah. They have under 40 players on the roster, about 37. Here's Parker with a QB run to the right. Cuts up field, and we've seen his elusiveness all night. He's able to get about 5 yards down to the 20. Under 3 to play. This is going to be a win for Lake Station. They went 2-8 last season with a 0-3 record in conference play, and man, they have completely flipped the script. They have a chance to finish 7-2, which would almost be a direct flip from their last season's record. But it's been a series that has been dominated by Boone Grove since 2009 when this program began. 10-3 all time for the Wolves, but looks like that's going to go to 10-4 now. On 2nd down and 9, Parker keeps, puts his head down. My goodness. Even with under 3 minutes to play in a 21-point lead, he's still putting his body on the line. And he picks up about 6, close to the first down marker, 3rd and 1. We saw him exit the game earlier, taking a big hit on a deep throw. Colton Brosh hit him. But he's still putting his head down and trying to make those physical plays this late in the game.
Yeah, all that stuff goes out of the window when you're playing Class 1A, 2A, and even 3A football. It's all about toughness at these levels. And if you're not able to plow forward and fight and battle, then you're in for a long, long, long night. Because you don't have a lot of players to sub you out and all that stuff. And so, it's really just you and your guys all week in practice. You and your guys. And
exactly.
You get to the game, so that's what builds that toughness, where you see a lot of these guys, obviously they don't necessarily go play high-level college football, but they're definitely good utility players and even better guys in the workforce because they just know how to battle.
Victory formation for Lake Station. Wow, how they've been waiting for this moment for 9 years. They've lost 9 straight games to Boone Grove. They just haven't been able to get the best of the Wolves, but the fans on the far side are cheering very loud for their Eagles, who are going to move to 6-2 with quite frankly, a surprisingly dominant win tonight over Boone Grove. As one final kneel will be enough for David Parker, the senior, who has made his presence felt for any team going up against him. And that'll do it. Lake Station is 6-2, a 6-win season for the first time since 1998. These Lake Station fans are proud of their boys, and they will have a date next week with River Forest trying to finish the season with 7 wins. Final thoughts, Isaiah, what do you got for us?
Well, this was a game for the ages, and after we come back from break, we'll talk about our player of the game and whatnot, but shout out to Lake Station. I mean, I was born in 1998. I know that's going to age me a little bit, but, I'm a young guy, but that was still a long time ago. And to say that these guys weren't even born yet, doing something that their town is going to be very proud of. I mean, that River Forest, Lake Station, Hobart area, there's a lot of pride of football in that area, historically. And so they're doing something really special. But after break, we'll talk about player of the game and get some more details down about this game.
Yeah, we'll take a break and be back after this.